Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this Bob's Burgers restaurant slash house. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please do remember to hit that like button. It really helps me out. It honestly does. If you hit that like, it makes me 1.2% happier for each like. Think about that. Those really add up. And once you've finished making this, I would highly recommend checking out the cartoon builds playlist that can be found both in the comment system and the description below. And that'll show you how to make loads and loads and loads more cartoon slash movie slash comic book slash TV series related houses. I hope that you guys do check that out. That's the card system, the description below. But without any further ado, let me show you how to make this great looking build. So before we make this, I should let you know that this build will roughly fit into a 22 block by a 21 block area. It'll look a little something like this. Now, you might need a little bit more space if you plan on building around the front and back and stuff, but roughly speaking, this is about how much you're gonna need. Now, once you figure that out, you're going to want to grab every single one of these materials that I have in my inventory right now. So please, make sure that you've got them all before we begin, and once you do, we can start this off. So we will be starting this off with a row of 24 lime concrete coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Place a yellow concrete on top of that 24th block and go to the right of that yellow by 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We then want to go down from that 21st block with the lime concrete until we eventually connect down to the ground. Just like that. Wonderful. So what we want to do is we want to take the block that hit the ground and coming inwards to the left of that block, we want to place 2 brown concrete going left. 1, 2. On top of those brown concrete, we actually want to stack 2 additional layers. 1, 2. Stack a layer of green, and then a layer of light blue stained glass, like that. And then what we want to do, this is kind of interesting, we want to grab the lime concrete, we want to take the bottom left hand side of the door, and we want to place a row of lime that comes up in front of the door, 1 row above, and then connects to the right. So to help you visualize that, you want to end up with something that should look very much like this. And what you then want to do is you want to take the top left hand corner of the lime green that you have just placed, and you want to place a row of 12 light grey concrete going left. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We want to go down by 3. 1, 2, and 3. Actually, that may be 4. And then we want to go all the way over to the right. And then we want to connect it to the right and then upwards. So we want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. We're then going to completely fill in this area. This is a window with light blue glass, just regular glass block like this. We're going to add lime underneath the window. We want to extend out left from the window by 1 using the lime. We want to place a row of lime coming upwards. We want to go up around on top of the window like this by 1 row, and we want to extend to the right like this. We then want to take the row of lime that we just placed. We want to extend it to the left, connect to the left hand side of the build. We want to place a row of light grey concrete underneath this row that we placed. We want to connect it down on the left hand side and the right. We want to place a row of light blue glass underneath the top 2 light grey blocks, followed by a layer of light grey concrete, and then we simply want to fill the inside of that in using light blue glass. So the effect that we should have should look very much like this. Now, once you've got that sorted out, we have to add additional details at the top of the build before we move on. Come all the way up to the very tippity top of the build. You want to be on the right hand side. You want to find this yellow concrete connected together to the ground with lime. Move left of this concrete by 1 and come down from this yellow concrete by, you want to come down in total by 10 using the yellow concrete. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want to go left by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then connect upwards, like that. Place a row of lime concrete going left of what you've just made. Then place a row of yellow concrete left of this. Take the bottom yellow concrete, go left by 3 again, 1, 2, 3. Connect upwards, like so, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill in these areas. So the way that we'll do this, we'll start from the bottom. We want to start from the bottom. And inside of these empty spaces, we want to place 2 rows of light blue glass. So this is going to be 1 row and then 2. Then a row of white concrete. 2 more glass, 1 and 2. Then white concrete. Then a row of yellow concrete, and then 2 final rows of lime. So that'll be 1 and 2 for each of them, like this. There is a lot of windows around the restaurant. They're all made pretty much the same. We want to grab the yellow concrete, and we want to take the bottom of the windows, and we want to extend them 1 row towards us. And we want to take the top of the windows, which is the row just above the white concrete, and we want to take that row, extend it towards us, just like that. Now, once you have done that, we can do the next little bit of detail that we really want to get out of the way. So, if we come to the left-hand side, we want to add a row of lime concrete going from top to bottom inside the left-hand side of what we've just made. So, if that makes sense, you want to add that row. So, we then want to take the next empty row, and we want to take the yellow concrete at the top of it. So the yellow concrete specifically at the top of this row. We want to place a yellow concrete in front of the empty row. Extend it to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. If you guys are keeping up, I hope that you are. You then want to take the left hand side of this row and the right, and you want to place a row of 12 lime concrete coming downwards. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like that. And you want the same on the opposite side also. So I'm not going to count that out again. I'm just going to make sure that it matches up with that first row, which I'm almost positive is right. We then want to place a row of yellow concrete in front of the row of limes, like this. We then want to connect them together at the top, alright? We then want to connect them together at the bottom. And you know what? You can even connect the lime green at the bottom also. Otherwise, you're going to have a gap, aren't you? I didn't think about that. We then want to split this area in two by placing a row of yellow concrete straight up the middle, just like that. Nice and easy. What we then want to do is we want to start from the bottom here, and we want to add some more rows in again. So in this empty space, we want to do this sequence of blocks. We want to do a row of lime, a row of yellow, 2 rows of glass, 1 row and 2, a row of white concrete, 2 more rows of glass, 1 and 2, then a row of white, then yellow, and then 2 rows of lime concrete, just like that. And you should see that the windows actually correspond with the windows just to the right of us. It's very aesthetically pleasing. What we then want to do is we want to take the bottom of the windows and the top of the windows, and we want to extend those rows of yellow 1 row towards us. We also want to do the very same thing at the direct bottom of the entire window box. The effect should look like this. We then want to fill in the remainder of the empty space of the front of the restaurant in using lime concrete. Now, there are more details to add. For instance, we have a sign which would say Bob's Burgers, but it doesn't. I'll admit that's my bad. Whoops-a-daisy. I mean, we just simply can't add it in. I mean, not even if, I don't think we could do this. Even if we had banners, I don't think that there is enough room. There might be, actually. If you use banners, you could probably get Bob's Burgers written in the sign. I might even have to experiment with that at the end of the video. You might be able to get it in. I can't 100% speak for that, but you might be able to. If you guys really bothered, I'm sure that you will find some way of doing it. You could even extend the sign should you not have enough room. But anyway, you want to have this filled in. It's looking a bit boring. It will look better, don't you worry. So what we now want to do is we want to take this. It's kind of like tricky to mark this out. So we have the right windows, we have the left windows. You want to take the bottom of the right hand set of windows. You want to take this very bottom left hand corner. You want to find the space in between the left windows and the right windows, which is specifically this block. You want to place a light grey concrete. You want to go down from this concrete by 2, 1, 2, but up from this concrete by 3, 1, 2, and 3. You then want to place a light grey concrete here and here. It's basically one in from either end. And then this is supposed to look like a burger, but I couldn't make it look like a burger without it just looking ridiculous, so I didn't bother. What I've done is, instead I place a yellow concrete coming out from each one of the light greys. I extend them down. I connect them together in the middle, and I extend it up like this. And then I'm also going to add an additional row of yellow, and that looks quite nice like that. If you wanted to make it look like a burger, like a really rudimentary burger, like, you know, a simple burger, then add another row of yellow, and then simply add a row of brown concrete in between, and that kind of looks like a burger, but sideways, but also like a hot dog. I don't like how that looks. If you want, you can add in a more realistic burgery sign. I don't like it. I think it kind of makes the build look worse, but that's my thoughts and feelings anyway. So that's what you want to have so far. We also want to do this. So the positioning for this is we want to come to the door, the main entrance. We want to take the top left-hand corner of the door, move to the right by 1, move up by 2, 1, 2, place a red concrete, go up by 3, 1, 2, 3. We then want to move to the right by 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We then, actually, it's 17. I do apologize. Knock one off. You want to be 2 rows away from the end. And then you want to go down by 3. 1, 2, and 3, and then connect to the left. I misunderstood my own instructions. I thought that the entire thing is 18 rows long. It's not add 18, but it wants to look like this. I'm sure that you guys will be able to, be able to figure out how it's supposed to look. It doesn't want to be like lopsided. You want to fill the middle of it in using yellow concrete, and once again, how many B-O-B-S, that's Bob's, so that'd fit in up to here, right? And then you'd probably want a space, and then B-U-R-G-E-R-S. Maybe even an apostrophe. That leaves you 3 on the right-hand side, and that leaves you 3 on the left-hand side. Bob's Burgers... Oh, no, it doesn't. That's where the gap would be. You know what? You could probably very comfortably write Bob's Burgers in there and actually have it look really nice if you wanted to devote yourself using banners. That's food for thought. See what I did there? This is a restaurant, food. Anyway, next thing we're going to do is we are going to work on the sides of the building. So come all the way up to the top of the building, the right-hand side, and come all the way up to the back. So you want to be on the back right-hand side, top of the building. You want to take this yellow concrete and extend it backwards by 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You want to extend that 20th block across the right hand side, and the goal is to be able to connect it all the way back to the front side using a right angle. So that means just straight lines like that. Wonderful. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add in windows and stuff. So we're going to come to where we started this row of yellow, alright? And we are going to take the first yellow block that we placed. Actually, here's a better way to do it. So you see the windows on the front of the build on the right hand side, yeah? Well, you want to take this window that we have on the right hand side, you want to copy its position onto the right hand side of the building. So you see where the window is here, you want to place a window directly here coming towards the back of the build, which means in this position place 4 yellow going right, 1, 2, 3, 4. You then want to go down by 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to go left until you connect back to the wall, and then upwards. So as you can see, it's the same window, just on the right, just flipped a little bit. We then want to, at the bottom of the window, place 2 rows of glass, 1, 2, a row of white, 2 rows of glass, a row of white, and then I'm going to place a row of yellow concrete at the top and at the bottom of the build, like this. We are now going to place more windows. Place a row of 6 lime concrete going right of the window that we've just made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you may as well fill in all of the rows, because this right hand side of the build is basically just mainly lime green concrete, other than the drain pipe, which also exists. So going right of the last row of lime green, place an entire row of yellow concrete, and then extend the bottom block to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend that third block up and connect it to the top. Place a row of lime concrete going right, and then a row of yellow concrete. Take that top block, extend it to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend it down, and then connect it to the bottom of the window. We then want to do the same thing that we've done to all of the other windows. We want to place 2 rows of glass coming up from the bottom, then a row of white, 2 additional rows of glass for each one of the windows, a row of white, and then we want to place yellow concrete coming out of the base of the windows and also the top of the windows too, just like that, which should leave us something which looks exactly like this. You can then create an area for the entire right hand side of the building by taking this corner block and extending it down to the ground using lime green. So now what you've essentially done is you kind of like marked out where the side of the building is. All you have to do then is just fill in the remainder of the empty space in using lime concrete, and then we will very clumsily place a drain pipe after this, which will be made out of light grey concrete, and it'll just kind of like snake around the windows a little bit and ultimately connect down to the ground, as drain pipes sometimes, actually I think pretty much all of the time do. I mean, unless you just wanted the water to like haphazardly just fall off of the roof, you would probably want the drain pipe to connect all the way down to the ground, or at least I do believe it's a drain pipe. It certainly looks like one. It could be something else. For all I know, it could be like a giant robot antenna. I have no idea what they're hiding inside that restaurant. But regardless, we are doing a pretty decent job at filling this particular side in. I'm doing it from the inside because we don't have any sticky out parts on the inside. So like no parts of the windows and stuff to like get caught on, which is why I'm doing this basically. So we want to have something which should look like that for the right hand side. Grab your light grey concrete, and we want to place a row of light grey concrete going left of the middle window that is the length of the window. You want to leave a gap of 1, and you want to place like a row of light grey concrete. You want to extend the light grey coming upwards so it will hit the roof. You then want to take the base of the drain pipe and you want to extend it down by 2 rows, like 1, 2, and then to the right by 2, 1, 2, and then connect down to the ground. It's not 100% critically important that the shape is, you know, like this lightning bolt here, but as long as you have a drain pipe like midway coming down the build, keeps away from the windows, then you're pretty good. Let's come to the opposite side now, and we can work on the remainder of the windows. So we're on the opposite side of the build now, right? We're on this side of the build. We want to begin by placing on the left hand side of the build, we want to place 2 rows of lime concrete coming down from the row of yellow concrete. So this is going to be one row, and then this is going to be 2 rows of lime concrete coming down, like this. What you then want to do, once you have your 2 rows of lime, is you want to take the very first block, starting from the left, and you want to place a row of 8 lime coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then place a row of yellow going right of this. You then want to take the top yellow block, extend it to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend that all the way down and connect it at the bottom. Place a row of lime going right of this window, with then a row of yellow. Take the bottom of the yellow and extend it to the right by 1, 2, and 3. Connect it up and to the left, like this. We are then going to place 2 rows of light blue stained glass, starting from the bottom. We're going to place 2 rows inside the empty space. Then a row of white concrete. 2 rows of glass, like this. And then a row of lime. Oh, a row of white, I do apologize. We're going to place yellow concrete at the base of the windows and the top of the windows. You guys know the drill, we've done this so many times already. Just like that. We're then going to formulate the actual shape of this side by connecting the very end corner lime green down to the ground. We're then going to come inside of this particular side of the building, and we're just going to completely fill in the side using the lime concrete. And then this will leave just one side of the build left to do, other than the roof, because we do have the roof to do as well. I'm sure that you guys haven't forgotten about that. Of course you wouldn't. So once we have completed this left-hand side of the building, we can tackle the roof, and the roof is fairly simple. Actually, it's quite relaxing to do the roof. I don't know why. I really like the particular set layout, the set out of roofs like the Bob's Burgers restaurant. But yeah, we'll just completely finish filling in the side. We'll add all the details to the back, etc., etc. You guys know how this will work. But we've almost finished this side. I'm going to move outside now. Just I think I'll have a better positioning here. Just like that, and let me delete that additional block that I placed on the inside. Where are you? Smash! And that will leave us with something that should look like that. Perfect, that's pretty much all that's on this side of the build. So now come to the very back of the building. Here we are. On the back of the building, we want to begin by adding 2 rows of lime concrete coming down from the top. This is going to be 1 row. And then 2 rows of lime coming down from the top. Just like this. We then want to take the very left-hand side underneath lime block, and we want to place a row of 8 yellow concrete coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We want to take that bottom block, extend it to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend it up and connect it to the top. Then place 6 rows of lime going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm of course going to just fill these in, because I might as well, because the entire restaurant at the back will want to eventually be filled in with lime once we reach that particular point. Just like that. We're then going to place a row of yellow right of that last 6th row. We're going to take the bottom block, extend it to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then up. And then we're going to connect it back, just like that. We are then going to fill in these windows by placing 2 rows of glass at the bottom, then a row of white, 2 rows of glass, a row of white, place yellow concrete at the bottom and tops of the windows. I'm actually going to do this preemptively on this right window. And then place 2 rows of glass at the bottom, a row of white, 2 rows of glass, and then a row of white to finish that off. What we're also going to do is, this window is different. So this right-hand window also is a fire escape, which is how you escape fire, as you guys might imagine. So we want to take the bottom of this right window, and we want to extend it towards us by an additional 2 rows. 1, 2. We then want to extend the corners upwards each by one. So each one of the four corners of this, just extend it upwards like this. You might even want to place like iron bars in the front and left-hand sides to create kind of like a medium to not fall down. The right-hand side of this is actually the ladder part, which as far as I can tell, the same color as everything else. So we'll take the left-hand corner, the bottom left-hand corner of this, and we'll extend it down by, I do believe, an odd number. So let's say we want to do it by like 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know it doesn't go all the way down. And we'll take this and we'll also extend it down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to place a yellow concrete coming in between each one of those rows, leaving a gap each time to emulate the look of a ladder. Just like that. Once you've done that, you've done the fire escape, and we can now move to the bottom left-hand side of the build. You want to be on the very bottom left-hand corner of the build, and you want to place a row of 4 light grey coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend that 4th block to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Connect it down to the ground, and then just fill the center of it in using glass. We're then going to place a row of lime concrete on top of the door and extend it towards us using a row of yellow concrete. We're then going to completely fill in the rest of the back using lime concrete, and this will be almost all of the major detail that we're going to be adding. The major detail, like this is a lot of the detail of the building itself complete. That doesn't mean to say that there aren't a couple more things that we're going to do that will make it a little bit more recognizable, that will make the whole place look a little bit, it'll add a nice few finishing touches to the place. So let's just completely fill this in using the lime concrete as we are, and then we can add in a couple of things. So for instance, like we have to add a drain pipe to the building, we have to add like a dumpster to the building and some like random trash around it. We also have to add a tree up front. We have to finish the roof, obviously. And we also have to... what I'm going to do, you don't have to, is I'm going to add a little bit of a stone slab path that will go all the way around the build to make it look ever so slightly nicer. But so far, the back of the build wants to look like this. Now let's add a drain pipe. So you want to take the left window on the back of the build. You want to take the bottom left-hand corner of it. Move like bottom left diagonally from that corner. It's this block right here. Place a light grey concrete. Move down 1, right 2, 1, 2, down 1, then right by, let's say, like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then connect all the way down to the ground like this. And as you can see, it just adds a little something to the build, doesn't it? On the back of this, we're now going to need some blue concrete, some grey carpet, green terracotta, and some oak wood slabs. Take the bottom of the drain pipe and leave a gap of 2 in the ground, and then place 2 green terracotta coming up from the ground. 1, 2. Place oak wood slabs around the base terracotta in front of, to the right, and then back, like that. You then want to place 2 rows of 4 blue concrete going to the right from each slab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a layer of blue concrete on top, with then a row of grey carpet on top of this, like that. And that is basically just a big giant dumpster with some trash to the left hand side of it. If you like, you can add additional detail in the form of like more trash, more whatever. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to do the roof. The roof is going to be made out of yellow concrete and also light grey concrete. So here's what we're going to do, right? We are going to take the top row of the roof, the yellow concrete, and we're going to place a row of yellow concrete. We're going to actually place 2 rows of yellow concrete directly on top. So to show you 1, 2, and then we're going to go all the way around. We're going to place 2 additional rows of yellow concrete going all the way around the top of the roof, and then it will be done. Just kidding, that won't be it. And by the way, do make sure that you go around the edge of the top of the window box on the front of the build. So I'll show you what I mean in a moment, I've already done it, but I'll show you what I mean once I've done this second layer of yellow. I'll show you what I mean by like going around it, because it's very important that we follow the shape of the build and we don't like have any weird flat parts. But this is the second row of yellow that we are adding to the top of the build. It will look a little something like this. And as you can see now, like on the front of the build, the window box, as I'm calling it, makes more sense. You then want to take the bottom row of yellow out of your row of 3 and the top row of 3, and you want to add an additional layer of yellow concrete going all the way around the outside of those rows. So you want these rows, number 1 and number 3, to be sticking out. You leave the middle alone. That part in particular is sunk into the build. That part in particular is indeed sunk in. And then you can just add in your 2 other rows, and it will look really nice. Like, we've almost done this first one. As you can see, we go all the way around the window. And then we want to have yet another one. Once again, just leave a gap of 1 in between, and you just want to fill in these rows, and we're just going to go all the way around. We're going to connect to the left hand side of the window box again, and you'll see that it actually looks quite nice like this. It really does look quite good. And what I might even do is I'll show you guys in a second what I'm gonna do actually. But yeah, you just wanna fill in around the window box, and you'll end up with a shape that should look like that, which is very pleasing, and I really like doing that particular roof. If you have a look at the top of the roof here, actually it actually looks quite good. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to add a layer of light grey concrete 1 row down from the top of the roof inside of the roof. So this is going to be the roofing material that we are using. We're going to use light grey just because it just makes the most sense to me. I mean, you could use yellow if you wanted to. You could even use pink. I mean, you're really not going to be seeing the top of this too often, I would imagine, but you know, you never know. So we're just going to completely fill the top of this in using light grey concrete. Of course, though, I mean, I chose not to add this. On some versions of the build that I actually looked at, there is a house on top of this, and by house I mean it basically looks like what's the word? Is it like an isosceles triangle where it's like got one? I might be wrong about this, but it's got like one flat, but like it's got a long flat bottom, and then there's 2 peaks coming up to meet in the middle. Regardless of that, there's like a triangular shaped house on top of this, and I actually added it, and it looks hideous, so I've removed it. So I mean, if you want to have this be 100% structurally accurate, then you may want to add some form of living space up the top here, but I do think that this looks a lot better just as it is now. So just continuing to fill the top of this in using the light grey concrete. It's taken a while, as you might guess, but oh well. So we're just going to completely fill the top of this in, 1 last row, just like that, and that will leave us something that should look like this. And this is the build itself, looking very striking. Hard not to tell what this is. Just a couple of additional details. We'll need lime concrete, brown concrete, iron bars, and a bit of stone slab. So something that I don't usually do is like dig stuff out and like, you know, fill it in on a recording, because it usually takes too long. But I'm going to make an exception for this because it's not too much of it. I'm going to dig a 3-block thick trench going around the build, and I'm going to have it on the front, right hand side and back of the build. I'm leaving the left hand side alone because it's not really required, because there's not much detail on the left. There's especially nothing at the base of the building, but I am digging out these 3 rows in particular at the front of the build, the right hand side and the back of the build, and I'm going to replace these with stone slabs. I think that this will improve the look of this build by quite a bit. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to add a small tree to the front right hand side of the build, because it exists and I think it looks quite nice. So I'm filling this in using these stone slabs. I'm going to do this in what I hope to be like the quickest and most economical way possible. I'm just going to like completely fill in this back bit here, and then I'm going to fill in this bit on this particular side of the build, just behind the drain pipe, and then I should have an easier time filling everything else in. I'm also going to fill in inside of the door. You might have seen me dig it out on the front right hand side door is I've dug that out. I'm going to replace that with stone slab 2. There's nothing else that really should obstruct me because the entrance itself is not sunk into the building. It is like in line with the building, so it won't really get in anybody else's way. And in doing this, I found that it just looks a little bit nicer, right? So like the front side of the building looks a bit nicer like that. The right hand side does, and the back also does as well. You don't have to add this if you don't want to though. So I'm going to take the front right hand corner of the stone slabs at the front of the building, the right hand side. I'm going to move in diagonally by 1. I'm going to place 3 brown concrete coming up from the ground. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go right 1, up 2. I'm going to place a lime concrete, specifically this position, this position. I'm going to take the base of the tree and place iron bars on each one of the 4 sides. I'm going to make them each 2 high. And that, I think, is a very small, minor detail that I really like added to this. I don't know why. I think it just makes it look a bit nicer. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Bob's Burgers restaurant, which I find hard to say. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Spent a lot of time on this, made sure it was right, made sure it looked great. I'm hoping that you guys really do appreciate it. Please like the video if you do think that. Consider subscribing to the channel if you do want to check out more stuff by me. Really appreciate that too. If you want to check out the stuff, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more stuff, cartoon related stuff, of course you've got to comment down below and let me know what you want to see. I'm not psychic. I won't otherwise know. And on top of all of those things, if you want to check out more stuff by me, please check out the card system in the description below for the cartoon builds playlist. That's the main playlist that I would recommend to anyone. Cartoon builds playlist featuring all sorts of cartoon related houses, movie related houses, comic books, TV series, you name it. I've made a lot of it. So basically check those out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.